It is time. And today we're playing with the paraliminal called gratitude. Now, let me say that gratitude can be understood from a number of different perspectives. One that I talk about on a paraliminal, or that we integrate into a paraliminal called 5-element healing, is that gratitude has a profound effect on our physiology. In fact, the organ system that is affected by gratitude is the kidney system, which is the beginning place for all the energy throughout all other areas of your life. So gratitude as an emotion is an essential part of living a full, rich, and energetic life. Gratitude as a practice has been talked about from a number of perspectives for a number of years. For example, people say it's so helpful if, when you wake up in the morning, you make a list of all the things that you're grateful for. In fact, I have a colleague named Dr. John DeMartini, and one of the things that he does is he puts his feet on the floor, out of bed, he stands up, and he begins a recitation inside of his own mind of all of the things that he is profoundly grateful for. And he won't move from that spot until he is moved to tears with the gratitude he feels for the life that he lives. That's an interesting way to start the day, don't you think? But think about what that's doing in terms of flooding your body and brain with positive neurochemistry that will enliven everything that you do. Another thing that's been talked about is at the end of the day to review your day to see what is it that occurred today for which you are most grateful. If there was some action you took, if it was some words that you spoke, if it was an interaction you had with another person, think about what went really well and be grateful for it. Now, gratitude, if you look at it from bookending your day, is going to make a big difference in terms of creating an enthusiastic and optimistic view of the upcoming day. But there's something else that's quite helpful, is people will often make a list of all of those things, keeping a gratitude journal. I have a colleague who will start listing all the things for the day that he's grateful for, and on some days he might have 3, he might have 10, and some days he fills up 2 or 3 pages. Now, when you think about what it is you're grateful for, it doesn't have to be something that's massively transformative in order to have a positive effect. It could be, I'm ambulatory. I can move. I can use the restroom. How wonderful. I can move around my home. I've got a home. I've got floors. I've got a roof over my head. I've got hot and cold running water. I've got electricity that I can plug into. There are millions and millions of people all over the world who will never enjoy those sorts of things. And being grateful for the gift that this day brings has a profound effect in your cellular structure and your ability to heal from illness, on your attitudes, your mindset. It makes quite a difference. Now, there is a book written recently by a man named Stephen Kotler, and he talks about the importance of gratitude. He says one of the things that's interesting is that the human brain picks up, somewhere around 11 million bits of information per second. I talk about this in the photo reading class, how the brain is always sorting for, but it only delivers to the conscious mind a small fraction of that. But largely what the brain is doing, what the amygdala, that center part of the emotional brain is doing, is sorting for all the things that could harm you. Yeah, it's largely devoted, biologically speaking, it's largely devoted to making sure that you stay safe. So it has a tendency toward negative thinking and fears. The tendency of the brain is to be more fear-based. Well, the problem with fears is that we can make up and imagine a lot of things that could harm us that aren't really going to. So is it a real fear that's something you have to concern yourself with? Or is it an imaginary fear based on a faulty conclusion or a misperception about the way things are in your life? But the thing is, because the brain tends to skew negatively, gratitude as a process affects this amygdala's midbrain response, and it skews toward positive. Now, I like to say that the difference between negative and positive is found in the root of the word. Positive has the root P-O-S-I, which means to position. It positions our thinking with a goal or an outcome that we truly desire. Negative thinking has a tendency to negate, specifically negate access to the resources within us that would really help. So gratitude as a practice is something that's going to position your thinking to realize what it is you choose to create. And what is it that you're choosing to create in this day? By the law of reinforcement, you get more of what you focus your attention upon. So when you are grateful, you're reinforcing your brain to sort for abundance, resources, safety, belonging, worthiness, all of the positive kinds of emotional states and mindsets that are going to help you today get where you want to go. It doesn't matter what it is you're choosing to do, even if it's a day of relaxing. One of the things that you can do is be grateful for this day in which you can relax. That you're safe, that you're loved, that you're worthy. And the more you apply your attention and resources to what it is you desire, where your attention goes, your energy flows. More gratitude means more, the ability to receive more for which you are most grateful. So what a perfect loop. I mean, brain sciences talks about it. The ancients talk about it in terms of our internal organs and energy systems. And it just makes good sense on a daily basis to focus on what you're grateful for. Now, if you can make a habit of this, for example, first thing when you awaken, before you do anything else, when your feet touch the floor, pause for a moment. You're just getting ready for bed. You lay your head on the pillow. You review your day and you think about those things for which you're grateful. What you'll discover is an amazing shift in energy. It's a heart-opening experience. The midbrain, the amygdala, is about the emotionality, and we tend to feel our emotions right here. Now, here's another very important inside secret, if you will, about this particular paraliminal session. In the left ear, which is designed for your right brain, much of the script that I created was from an eidetic image. It's E-I-D-T-I-C, eidetic image. E-I-D-E-T-I-C, eidetic image, from a Dr. Akhtar Asen. Now, I wrote about this in my third book called Drop into Genius. In the first chapter of that book, I talk about the power of a single image being able to transform your life. And Dr. Austin gave me permission to actually share several of his eidetic images. One of them, the very final one, comes from the very last chapter of the book. I think it's chapter 8. It's called The Heart in 7 Stages. When I do my retreat, this is the final eidetic image, meditation, visualization that I give to all of my course participants. This idea of the heart in 7 stages is very interesting. What it talks about is that there is a fleshiness of the physical heart, but there's also an energetic, an essence of the heart. And what happens is, due to the traumas that we experience, the negative experiences we have in life, the essence of our heart is withdrawn from the fleshiness of our heart. We hide it to protect it. And very often what we'll create is cynicism. The broken-hearted idealist is the cynic. And as a child, we had an open heart. Everything was possible. And we lived more wholeheartedly. We lived with our whole heart in everything that we did. It was only through traumatic life experiences hitting us repeatedly that we withdrew as a protection mechanism. Again, the brain sorting for things that we might fear and what it is that might prevent us from feeling really good on a daily basis. And so what this eidetic image does is it helps bring the essence of your heart back into the fleshiness of your heart. And when that heart is lifted up and revived in this way, we can then live much more wholeheartedly. And that is embedded in this paraliminal. I'm sure that you've never heard any aspect of that in this paraliminal before. But if you ever do have an opportunity to listen to what's being spoken in that left ear, you'll hear it. It reminds you of that open-hearted, childlike essence of who you really are inside. And guess what? It's time to live wholeheartedly. Let's make this day a day where we live into this life of ours with the full, rich, resourced level of an open heart that can help us create the world we truly, truly desire to live in. Well, have a spectacular day. Thanks very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you again in the next session. Peace and blessings.